Hey guys, Ghost here, Dave here with another Destiny 2 Black Armory video. On Tuesday we got a new forge, and that of course means new weapons for me to check out. I worked all day grinding for the weapon that everyone has been talking about, and that is of course the Spiteful Fang. Wait a second, you thought I was going to talk about monarque? I only did like 20 frames and never got monarque. Anyways, the Spiteful Fang looks great. It's a great looking bow. I'm rocking with this shader because it fits my character's ice theme that I'm currently going with for the Dawning, and it's a lightweight frame. It's a 680 draw time, that of course means it's going to 1 to the head, 1 to the body, so it's pretty good. Got a natural string myself, along with fiberglass arrow shaft, sneak bow, and rampage, and I actually really like the synergy of these perks. I'm really happy with this roll. It only took, like, as I mentioned, 20 frames. I got an accuracy masterwork, and I got Icarus grip, so it just feels really solid. Bows are really strong, and this one with sneak bow works really well with flawless execution, and I think I showed off pretty well. So let's see what this bad boy can do. Starting things off on Altar of Flame, and we're immediately of course going to head down to the lane and see what we can do with the bow. Anyways, let's talk about bows real quick. I think they're incredibly strong in the Crucible. I think bows are incredibly strong, but I think they're incredibly strong when you have good teammates. In fact, even with bad teammates, because let's think about it this way. A bow is just about always going to strip someone's shield off them, and I think that is a major deal. It's just going to make the team shot for your teammates so much easier, and if you have teammates that are constantly able to make you space so you're not getting pushed in one shot in scenarios that you shouldn't win, then you're going to be able to do a lot of work with bows. I think bows are really good when you mix them up with pulses, when you mix them up with hand cannons, and you just have like 1 on the team, hell, even 2 on the team, because you can just one-shot people all the time. Most bows are generally the same. Very few bows have special perks to them, so when it comes to what makes a bow good, what you're looking for is generally the same perks across all the archetypes. The difference in the archetypes pretty much is 780s 2 body, 680s 1 body 1 head, and granted you do have to land a headshot, but I feel like it's not that hard with bows. In fact, I find myself very consistently landing headshots with bows, to the extent that I don't ever think that the longer draw time would be worth it for me in the way that I particularly play. So sneak bow rampage is generally what I look for in a bow, along with anything to increase accuracy, because this bow particularly has a pretty low accuracy, and it was noticeable when I had rolls that didn't have a good accuracy. However, I did get both of the best accuracy things on this bow, and I'm very happy about that, and it just feels really crisp. It's good to know that I can fire from the hip, fire from the air, fire down sights, and I'm just about always going to be landing in the center of my reticle. Very little lenience, and here we have a teammate who wants to tank my grenade at his face, but that's fine. Anyways, I think bows are a lot of fun to use, and I think they have a really high skill cap in the Crucible. This being said, the hardest part about bows for me is just remembering that they're hit scan. When you're looking down sight with a bow, even if they're not hit scan, they're just about hit scan, and it makes it really rough, along with the fact that they're projectile until you get your full charge. Like right there, you see the fact that I just keep missing because I'm expecting it to just go right forward, and it's so weird, the difference in like how it fires between the draws. There probably is consistency to it, but seeing as the draw time is based in a 1000 system, it really feels like there is no consistency because you're just about never getting the exact same draws number-wise. So that always feels a little bit weird to me, but once you become patient enough with bows and you actually just draw them back and wait for them to be fully drawn back, they are really deadly in the Crucible. But that's once you master the patience part, which I'm still like getting used to, because as somebody who loves to use auto rifles, it's not my cup of tea. I definitely like to be impatient. Auto rifles allow me to be that, and bows want me to play slow, take it calm, and it's not what I am best at. However, it is a style that I like and I want to learn, so that's kind of like why I'm so excited that I'm able to get a bow and I'm able to get a good one. Obviously, it took me a little bit to get it, but I did end up getting it. And I know you're probably thinking, like, you're the guy who got breakneck in one day, but you couldn't get a good bow all day. Yeah, RNG was against me, trust me. I did as many frames, and when I finally got it, it was like 3 AM, and I'm like, I do not have the energy to get the video up tonight. So we're looking at it today. And comparing this to other bows like Arsenic Bite, like Subtle Calamity, I think it fares up pretty well. In fact, and then there's bows like Tyranny of Heaven, which were so special because they're from the raid, and it just doesn't feel that good. Like, it's not that bad. It's just the fact that it doesn't have random rolls. It's curated one way. I just wasn't a fan of it, and that made me afraid of lightweight frames in general. However, this bow changed my mind. This is probably the best lightweight frame in my opinion. In fact, I found it to be quite useful, as you can see. Very deadly Crucible weapon, and that's exciting because I love different weapons. I love different builds. I love how seeing different combinations of weapons plays and whatnot. I love seeing different exotics and whatnot, and I just love the general variety, which sometimes in some games it feels like the meta does not have any of the variety that you're looking for. And then there's Destiny, where it's like there's a very clean-cut meta, but there's also a lot of things that really work. So you got the meta, and then you got like the meta, and I would say bows fit into that. The meta. They're not awful. In fact, they're incredibly strong, but they're not good enough that everyone is using them all of the time, right? Like, they're good, they have their niche, but if you take all of your engagements with a bow all of the time, well, first off, you'll get good, but second, you still, after an amount of time, won't be winning all of them because they do just have their weaknesses. Those weaknesses generally being shotguns at point blank, being snipers at long range, and you will have a lot of competition with quad bursts, and obviously, just at the same time, we got the blast furnace, which is the best quad burst and arguably the best pulse rifle in the game. It has incredible stats and it has good rolls. And right here, real quick, we're making advantage of this perk, and we're able to get him around the corner with our sword here. I love this sword. I have a dragonfly spec on it to make use of the fact that it can't roll with dragonfly. It's a great time. But yeah, no, in general, bows, to get it across, bows are good. Just about all of the bows are good if you have the right roll with them. This one can have the right roll, and because of that, it's a good time to use. Along with it being able to have this roll, along with being the only 680 with this roll, which gives it an established niche that makes it stand out from the other bows, right? Like, we've had 780s with this roll, we've done this before, but this is a 680, so technically, its time to kill is better, and it has all the same perks that you know and love that the Arsenic Bite doesn't have the ability to roll with. And you might be thinking like, oh, well, I like Arsenic Bite because it has Archer's Tempo and Rampage. Well, obviously, this can roll with the same things, and then you actually get the difference in getting different strings and arrowheads, which changes the stats of the weapon, and I wish I could have compared them for you. However, I don't have an Arsenic Bite at this point in time. I can't directly compare the stats to see what they're like. But that doesn't even matter that much, because this bow's in the Kinetic slot. Arsenic's in the Energy slot. Let's say you like Arsenic a lot. Well, you can't use it with one of your energy weapons that you want to use, like Luna's or Ikelos or something like that, or even Kindled Orchid, one of the new hand cannons, which feels great, so you can't use them together. Well, now you have this bow, which is pretty much your Arsenic Bite, but in the Kinetic slot. And let's say you really like Arsenic Bite, you can go for the same roll on this gun, right? Like, you can farm for an Archer's Tempo Rampage, it can roll with that. I personally don't really care for Archer's Tempo that much. Like, don't get me wrong, it feels good, but it also, because with most weapons, I get used to the way they box against different weapon types and whatnot, and I can't rely on the fact that I'm always going to be landing that first headshot, activating Archer's Tempo, or sometimes I'll miss it and it'll mess me up, and generally it just makes my rhythm feel a little bit sloppy, which is why I'm going with Sneak Bow here. Another thing like Moving Target or something like that, or Snapshot Sights would be pretty good on this bow. But yeah, it comes down to the fact that this is our first Kinetic lightweight. And with so few total bows in the game, the fact that this is its unique thing, it's kinetic, it's lightweight, it has a unique set of rolls that other lightweights can't get because the other lightweights are locked to rolls. The fact that it's random makes this worth the grind. It makes it worth trying it out and think maybe I overlooked these weapons in the past before, you know, like maybe it's not that bad, because it definitely made me look back at it. Because Arsenic Bite is the one bow that I never really tried in PvP. And then this came out, and I was like, no, we're going to get our hands on this, and we're going to try it out, and I absolutely loved it. Granted, I wish that the grind would have been a little bit shorter, because it took me so long to even get a single one with Rampage. This was only my second one with Rampage after 20 frames, and that was physically painful, because I think Rampage is a must-have on bows, because of how the damage ramps, along with the Sneak Bow I was originally a little bit hesitant on, but I very quickly came around to it. I really love the way that this one feels. Obviously right there we're able to get a kill and use the walls to our advantage, and we're able to play it slow there. And I had other games where I showed off the chaining of invisible headshot better, but overall I thought they were worse games to show. And it's not that I just want to show you the best possible game with the weapon, I want to show you the weapon's strengths, its weaknesses, and hell, if it has a synergy, then I want to show that too, but I don't want to really only show off the fact that it works with the synergy, because that makes the weapon seem like it doesn't have that many uses. And originally when I was filming this video and all my other games, I only ever popped Spectral Blades once. I wanted this video to be about the bow, I didn't want it to be about a super, so I made a rule that I wasn't going to pop it twice, but seeing as this dude's coming into our spawn, I was completely fine popping Spectral Blades just to kill him. I'm going to waste the rest of it by doing it into a wall, but we are able to use the walls to our advantage with this bow and able to get him nice. I think the bow is a really nice sight. I obviously have talked about the fact that I like Horror Story more than Tiger Spite because I like dot sights. I don't really care for the open-ended sights too much. I definitely prefer the little nice red dots. It just feels better with hit scan weapons in my opinion. I think it's good to know that your shots are going directly towards that dot, and obviously if you don't have a Fultron arrow, that is not the case. But yeah, talking about this weapon and summing things up, while it is not incredibly unique and it is not insanely different from every other bow, it has enough going for it. It has a lot of little things going to it that add up and it make it my go-to bow. And that is for both PvP and PvE. Like, PvE, obviously, you have Rampage, it works really well. And PvP, you have the nice synergies with things like Flawless Execution, Rampage, Sneak Bow, just all around good stats with the Icarus grip. It just makes it a really solid bow, and that is the best way to talk about this weapon. If you like bows, it's good. Hell, it's great. If you don't have this bow, grind this bow. Get the roll that you want. It is a really good bow, and obviously for the past 30 seconds, we've just been running around like a chicken with his head cut off, thinking like, oh, the match is ending, I need to get kills, and just dying to silly things because I'm trying to play too aggressive. But that's going to be the end of the match. And wait a second, we got to fight me with a bow? We got to fight me with a bow? The match wasn't that great, was it? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the bow, but I didn't think it was like a fight me with a bow match.
Good.
Oh, well, apparently we got a 4.1 efficiency and 41 kills. Jesus Christ, if that doesn't say enough about this bow, then nothing will sell you. Go get this bow, jeez. Anyways, if you liked the video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want, share it with your friends. Go check me out on any of my other social media. I like to stream on Twitch, I post whatever on Instagram, and I tweet occasionally, mostly just updates. But yeah, why are you still here?